Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about We Are MSJ. This is a panel of pre-professional health advising as well as 5 current Mount students who 4 of which are student athletes and how they balance their lives getting ready to work out in the field of the health area and the health fields from anything from nursing to physical therapy and so on and so forth. My name is Brandon Raby. I'm your chat moderator today, your host for this session, and we are going to go ahead and start right up into introductions. And I'm going to start us off with Lauren, if you don't mind giving us an introduction about yourself, who you are, and your major and what you're involved in at the Mount.
Awesome. My name's Lauren. I am a sophomore and I play soccer here at the Mount. I'm majoring in health and wellness and minoring in exercise science, and I'm involved in the campus ambassador program, the mission ambassador program. I'm a small group leader for Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and I also just got inducted into the Alpha Lambda Delta Honor Society. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. What about you, Zach?
All right. I'm Zach Mays, and I'm currently a senior at the Mount. I am majoring in psychology with an interest in sports psychology, and I currently run cross country and track.
Great. Thank you. And then Ashley Lewis.
My name's Ashley. I'm a senior at the Mount. I run both track and cross country. Majoring in biology on a physical therapy track. I'm also involved in campus activities board. I'm a resident assistant, and I was also involved in the presidential ambassador program.
Great. Thank you. And Austin?
Hey, my name is Austin, and I'm a junior here at MSJ. I'm a health and wellness major minoring in exercise science, and I'm on track for pre-med. I'm a member of the lacrosse team, and I'm also on service committee.
Awesome. And then last but not least, we have Ashley Jensen.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm a senior. I am a biology major with pre-PT, and I am, president of Group Fitness. I'm part of the Tri Beta Honor Society. I'm in Alpha Lambda Delta and Interfaith community. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all. Okay, so we're going to go right into questions. And remember, we're going to be talking about how we're balancing our lives as a student athlete, and then, setting yourselves up for success for graduate school or doctoral school or wherever your path is going to be taking you. So let's go ahead and start us off. My first question, and then I'm going to start with Ashley Lewis since she's one of our seniors here. When do you remember first thinking about attending graduate school for PT, and how did that process go about?
Well, for a few years during high school, I knew I wanted to become a physical therapist. So then learning more about what that process would involve once I decided to come to the Mount. I mainly decided on the Mount to attend their DPT program. So that's what I made the decision to come here for undergrad as well. So being an undergrad student at the Mount and wanting to go into their DPT program as well, it was really an easy process to know what all I would need to do and get taken care of within the 4 years that I'm here to be right on track to apply to their graduate program as far as GRE testing and what classes I would need to take for prereqs and everything like that.
Awesome. And then for those of you listeners out there, the GRE is kind of almost like the ACT to get into a graduate school. Okay, it's another culminative exam to get yourself prepped up for grad school. Ashley Jensen, I'm going to ask you the same exact question because I know this is your senior year too. How was your process about looking into grad schools?
Mine was kind of the same. I decided in high school when I was injured that I was going to go into physical therapy, or that I'd want to look into going into it. And so I started looking at graduate programs that I'd want to go to for PT, and I found them out. And I just really liked how small everything was, and you get a lot of one-on-one time. So you can, keep your GPA higher to help you get in. And there's a lot of faculty here that help you within the graduate admissions program and stuff. So yeah.
Great. And then I'm going to next ask Zach as well, since you have a little bit of a different track. You're considering more sports psychology. What kind of process came about and kind of when did it start for you?
So honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to do until my sophomore year in college. It wasn't until I spoke with my coach that I had an interest in wanting to do a sports related field while still wanting to use my degree in psychology. And so I was recently last year just looking at different programs, and I found a program at Miami University, Oxford, which is the program of sports leadership and management. And one of the certificates that they had is sports psychology. So um, that's one of the programs that I'm looking forward to and applying because I want both to use psychology and I still want to be in the field like doing sports in my career.
Great, great. Let's go ahead and transition to our next question, and this is going to start off with Austin. How do you balance playing a sport? I know you mentioned you're on the lacrosse team um, with your pre-professional major into the health professions.
I think the biggest thing is you just have to be proactive about your homework and about the classes that you're going to need to take and any concerns that you have on or off the field. As long as you can time manage and be proactive, I think you'll be able to balance them pretty easily.
Great, great point. What about for you, Lauren?
I have to agree with Austin on this. Like, it's a lot about time management. And like for me, I personally use like a planner to keep all my schedules straight and like deadlines. So I know what to do and when I have tests and stuff. So it's really just about like being disciplined and getting your homework done, like as it's assigned, and just staying on top of your work.
Great, great. Now I know that Lauren, you're a fall sport athlete, correct? And Austin, you are a spring sport athlete. Would you say it helps to kind of pile up some of your harder courses there during the semesters that you're not in season?
Yeah, it's definitely easier to do it whenever you're not playing because you can have a whole day that you just use for games. And then maybe you might do that twice a week, so that it's going to be harder to have your assignments. And then if you have an away game during the week, you might miss a test. And it's a lot easier to not have to deal with any of that. Just do that during your semester when you're off.
Great.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It again, it's just about like time management, and that's where your advisors really come into play there. You can talk about this stuff with them so you can help kind of plan ahead of time whether like what your workload's going to look like and how you can manage that with practices and games and stuff.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Ashley Jensen, I'm going to transition to a new question. I know you said you're involved with a lot of like our fitness clubs on campus as one of the presidents. Could you give me a piece of advice to students on how to balance being involved in school with different organizations compared to staying on track with schoolwork? For Ashley Jensen, if you don't mind.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? Mike?
Yeah.
No.
No problem at all. So if you could give me one piece of advice for students that are looking to be involved in campus but aren't quite sure, if they should be because of the amount of schoolwork that you have, what piece of advice would you give them?
Yeah, for sure. I would say get involved at least, even if it's just like a little bit, because that's what I did. I started off just going to one meeting and I was like, if I can just be part of one club, that's enough. It's just like a little bit and you're still in touch with campus and everything. And then if it, turns into more, for me, I'm part of, I don't even know how many clubs anymore. And it all just came from that one thing. So I would say just try and get involved, even if it's just a little bit, and then you'll kind of see how to work around your schedule and how to get more involved if that's something you're into. So
Great. Kind of test out the waters first and then go from there. Ashley Lewis, what about you? Same question. What would you give a piece of suggestion for students that want to get involved but aren't quite sure if they should yet?
Yeah, I would definitely say the same for sure as Ashley said as well, to definitely try. My freshman year, I really didn't and do a lot. I didn't start cross country till my sophomore year. So freshman year, I was just running track. And the fall semester, I was kind of just waiting on the spring semester to come to start competing and things like that. I was filming for the football team, but other than that, I really didn't have a lot on my plate as compared to what I was used to coming from high school. And it was honestly just a lot harder for me to keep up with everything. It kind of sounds backwards when you don't have a lot on your plate. I feel like I was falling behind a lot more versus when I started getting involved in more clubs like CAB, going into my sophomore year, and then when I did become an RA last year. Just having more on my plate made me feel like I was kind of more forced to sit down and balance my time a lot more rather than having a lot more free time. So it definitely helped me involved more.
Yeah, well said. I think there's a great point to a lot of students feel like they are more successful the busier that they get. Not necessarily just by studying, but by working or being involved in other things on campus to stay, just to stay active and kind of give yourself a break from always studying 24/7. Let's go ahead and transition to a next question. We'll start off with Zach. Okay, so Zach, if you could go back to high school okay, what would you do differently to prepare, or what was your best thing that you did to prepare for searching for pre-health professions or different majors for college that are going to be successful in your field?
For sure, one of the things I would have done was I would have reached out to more colleges and to more people and make more connections. One of the downfalls, well, it wasn't a downfall, but one of the things I wish I would have went out and talked to more people, because I only talked to 3 colleges, and thankfully I went to the Mount. But yeah, it's really important to start making connections as soon as you can before you decide what program you want to go to.
Absolutely. What would you say for you, Austin? Would you say anything else, advice or pieces of advice to give to high school students?
I think I would have tried to make connections with the actual people who are working in those positions. Because if you want to go into PT, I think when I was in high school, I should have talked to more PTs and try to get shadowing hours before college, because it's harder when you first get into college to secure a position volunteering somewhere if you don't already have prior experience. So if you get to prior experience in high school, it's a lot easier to transition to college and to continue doing that.
Great. That's a very great point. Awesome. Okay, we're going to go ahead and transition and talk a little bit about the Mount. So I'm going to give you guys, all of our viewers here, a brief overview of Mount St. Joseph University. If you're not familiar with us, okay, we are 10 minutes west of downtown Cincinnati. Okay, we reside in Delhi Township on one of the 7 hills that kind of creates Cincinnati, if you will, right next to the Ohio River. All right, if you ever fly into CVG Airport, you go over our campus, which I think is really cool. And every now and then you can see our campus from way up above. We are a little over 2,100 students in total. Okay, out of our undergraduate class, we're about 50% student athletes. So this panel is perfect because you can see we have 4 student athletes here. One student who is very involved in other organizations on campus, and you can see all 5 of our students are very involved. So we really suggest that, and we think that it kind of helps make you a more well-rounded student and set you up for success as you go on from freshman year all the way to senior year, and so on and so forth. Okay, when we're considering the Mount, the best thing about the Mount in terms of one of the best qualities that we have for our students is called HPAC. Okay, HPAC is a fancy acronym for Health Professions Advising Committee. Okay, and what HPAC does is it's a grouping of advisors as well as members of our career center and professors in the field that are also some of your teachers, okay, that come up with different ways to get all of our students in a pre-health professions kind of route to success, or roadmap to success, if you will. Okay, so they help out with everything from preparing for interviews for physical therapy doctoral school to physician assistant to dentistry, pre-med. We have our sports psychology, nursing, so on and so forth. The list goes on and on and on. And what's really neat about HPAC is they will help you from freshman year all the way to senior year and beyond that if you're still looking for help with your graduate school. or doctoral school. So it's a really neat combination of a bunch of different individuals on campus. They have several different ways to help set you up for success, including resume review, how to have a in-person interview versus a virtual interview, which happened to some of our students last year with COVID. Okay, and how to dress appropriately. Different hospitals or different organizations that are looking for our students, and so on and so forth. So the networking component is there, the advising component, so on and so forth. And it's been very successful for our students, and it's why our pre-health profession students go on and lead successful careers out in the field. So with that being said, that's a brief overview. Okay, let's go back to one of my questions. We'll go ahead and start off with, let's go ahead and start with Lauren. How does the Mount give you a leg up for getting ready for PT school in your?
I think something really unique is that we have like we have to do a co-op before we graduate, and I have not done my co-op yet, but I actually just had a meeting with like my co-op advisor, and we discussed the next steps that I have to do for it, and the different opportunities that we talked about are just awesome. It's something that could really give me a foot in and make those connections prior to PT school, and that can have people like advocate for me to help me get in when I'm applying, and like get that hands-on experience before grad school.
Great, great. Ashley, Jensen, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I through like faculty, staff, and even students, I've gotten I've made connections and been able to get positions at 2 different settings of therapy clinics. And so I was able to get more experience, and I actually just turned in my PT applications, and I had like countless people that I could ask for recommendations because I had so many relationships.
Awesome, awesome. Austin, what about you?
Yeah, just going off of what Ashley just said, since we're at a small school, you know pretty much all of your teachers and all your advisors and everyone else around you. So if you need a letter of recommendation, you'll have plenty of people to ask from. And those on an interview and a grad school application, those are vital because they're the connection between the people who are going to be interviewing you and you, because that's someone else who knows you and can always vouch for you and say who you are, besides more than just your application.
Great, great. Zach, anything you'd like to add?
I feel like one of the advantages is our own career center, because the people in the career center are really awesome because they will sit down with you one-on-one and they will work with you until they find a co-op that you can work at. For me, for example, they sat with me and they worked with me for about like a month or two before I was able to land a co-op at a case management agency.
Awesome, awesome. And then finally, Ashley Lewis.
Yeah, I would just agree with what everyone else was saying 100%, especially with the Career Center, because that's kind of why I was sitting in my car now. I'm outside of my job. We're going right after this. I work at Children's Hospital in their sports PT clinic. I started here a couple months ago over the summer, and without the help of the Career Center, I definitely would not have gotten this job. I didn't even know about this opportunity until I got a call from the supervisor here because my club advisor had gave them my resume and things like that. And even after losing the job I had on campus due to COVID, my club advisors still worked like tirelessly over the summer to try and get me in a position specifically related to my field. So they definitely give you a leg up to just get you out there in the field that you're wanting to be in.
Awesome. All right, we have one last question for today. Why did you attend the Mount, or why do you still attend the Mount? And why? What do you like about Mount St. Joe? Just 1 or 2 quick pieces of advice. We'll go ahead and we'll start with Zach.
Okay, so one of the reasons why I love attending the Mount is because my psychology professors are probably like the best at what they do. They work on you, like they work with you one-on-one most of the time, and they give you that push that you really do need. And honestly, I don't feel like I would have known what I wanted to do if it wasn't for a couple of psych professors at the Mount.
Awesome, awesome. What about you, Austin?
The things that I like the most about Mount is we have very small class sizes, so you can have one-on-ones with your teachers, and also we have a very supportive community here. And when you have that, you can ask people for help. There's never any shame in doing that, and you can always have support. And then they're always going to hook you up with a job, or make sure you're in the right classes. There's always somebody there for you who's always going to be helping.
Awesome. Ashley Jensen?
Yeah, I agree with Austin and Zach. Definitely the like small, close community atmosphere here. I went to a bigger high school where hardly anybody knew my name, and I'm here and everybody knows my name. So it's really nice. You can just talk to your advisors, talk to your professors. It's really easy to get help, like Austin said, which is nice if you're struggling in a class that may be a prerequisite for graduate school. So it's always helpful, and it's really easy to form study groups. The close atmosphere is really great here.
Great. And then Ashley Lewis?
I would definitely speak on the close atmosphere and small class sizes as well, especially with the professors. Knowing everyone in their classes, it's a lot easier to notice if something is off with you. Say if you like maybe doing strong in the beginning and you might kind of fall off towards the middle or the end of the semester. I've had a professor like reach out to me and check on me, something that you probably wouldn't get if you were in a larger school with about a class size of 300 or something like that. So.
All right, and Lauren, last but not least.
So in addition to like the awesome coaching staff and like sports teams, and then like the really good PT program that's obviously very successful, I also would have to vouch for like the small atmosphere, because it can allow me to be more involved and like make more connections and like still be able to balance all of that. So like I have good relationships with my coaches, with my professors, advisors, like whoever it is. So it's easier to like work out my schedule, and like if I had to miss something for like a practice, I could work out another time to go like to like an FCA meet, like FCA small group thing. And it's really awesome to be able to be that involved and make those connections, which could eventually help like get into grad school. So
Awesome. Well, thank you. To conclude our session, if any of you watching this session live or as a recording on YouTube or any other device in the future, if you find that you are more, want to dive deeper into considering a pre-health profession, please reach out to us. Or if you're, now considering Mount St. Joseph University as an option for you for college next year, we would love to hear from you. Thank you for joining us today. Shout out to Ashley Lewis for hanging out in her car before work. That's awesome. I think that's so cool. And everybody else, we appreciate you guys joining us, and we hope to see you around campus soon. Thank you.